Trump considers it treasonous to say US is not winning the war with Iran.
I made a post about this today, and this post is inspired by the nerdy debates you have online. For whatever reason, some people feel that their previous credentials warrant them a microphone and not someone else. This couldn't be any further from the truth. As a true Machiavellian, you should understand that the very people in power are the most likely to lie to you about the situation, actually. So these are the people you don't want to listen to the most. So that means Trump, that means the leaders on the opposing side, all of them obviously have their agenda. However, even though they are likely lying, it doesn't mean what they're saying isn't useful in your analysis. Because oftentimes they'll reveal their hand indirectly. And oftentimes what they say, the opposite is actually occurring because they're desperate or they're coping. They're trying to divert your attention somewhere else. I mean, this is the infamous peacocking theory. Those men that are scared, they try to ward off, other men by screaming and saying they'll do this to them. But when in actual reality, they're scared to fight. Yeah. This is just known antics from humans. The difference in 2026 as opposed to 1990, where a geopolitical expert may have held more weight if he was in a position within government or mainstream media, is that now we all have the same information. And so if you have studied enough philosophy, you are able to take the aggregate of information out there and very accurately predict what is happening and what is likely to happen. And there is a criteria that you can go down the list. And as long as you cover each point, you are likely to land on a more accurate answer than what has been said in mainstream media, on the Iranian side, the Israeli side, the US side, the GCC side, the Australian side, as well as your favorite geopolitical analyst who has an agenda. Maybe someone's funding him. Maybe he's living in one of these countries that's affected, so he can't say certain things. Very obvious points. But for whatever reason, even though this is common sense and obvious to me, hence the title of our show, a lot of people don't see it that way. And they fail to see it that way. So, for example, as much as I love the UAE, if you are to take advice from people living in the UAE about what's happening over there and they have an agenda, you must take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it is a lie, but you have to keep in mind that potentially there's something they're not telling you. It's just one input. Then get the input from the haters. Why are they hating on Dubai? What's this cope? Why do they care? And they may be the sort of people that got bum-fucked in Dubai, that they can't afford to live in Dubai. Maybe their ex-girlfriend went and teed up with some rich guy in Dubai. You see, all of this cope and desperation on either side is just extra pieces of data for you to throw into your own algorithm. And after time, you will land what is most likely the accurate answer. And this is why I believe that all of the articles I've wrote, which will be in our Patreon in the coming days, man, if you can find a point where I have been wildly wrong, please raise it. Please highlight it. Please screenshot it. Please email it to us. But I'm telling you, for now, I'm going to rate myself. I've been on the money.
On facts.
Literally.
On the facts. A buddy of mine in Dubai, he imports, exports. And I said to him, how does this affect your business? And he said, look, they've increased all the prices. Every shipping container is now increased by 5,000. That's fine. We're happy to pay the 5,000, but it's not moving. So what are you guys charging us for? Hey guys, prices going up. Okay, cool, no worries. Get my shipments in, 5K, no worries per container. But it's still not moving.
Markets never lie. So it doesn't matter what chaotic, emotional rant you read on Twitter or see on YouTube that all the brokies get behind. Yeah, you tell them, fuck Netanyahu. Markets don't lie. And the Brent crude is the closest thing to our truth serum here. And what is the price of Brent crude today, as opposed to where it was pre-conflict?
Pre-conflict, when did
Was like 60, 70 a barrel?
pre-conflict, when did the war start? Do you remember the exact date?
February 28th, but obviously people are pricing in up until that date as well. So I think that oil took a little bit of a jump prior to the first missile landing. And in any case, the oil price went up, what, 50, 60%? So a substantial amount. And it has remained above this $100 mark. And thus, this suggests this Brent crude price north of $100, a price 50% more than pre-conflict, suggests the war continues. Now, people get a little bit offended by the word war because it's a weasel word. Let's call it the conflict that is economically pressuring the entire fucking world then. Not everything is about a little pissant drone landing in the desert. I'm talking about the conflict between a bunch of countries that is closing down a body of water where oil tankers and tankers that are getting things out the world needs is closed. And this is fucking the world economically. Because the truth of the matter is, most of the brokies living in Australia and the USA are not thinking first about who's dying in the Middle East. They're thinking about, can I afford fuel and food today for my family? And as long as food and fuel is affordable, I don't really give a fuck about who dies in the Middle East today. I might say that I do. I might go to a protest on Sunday in the middle of Melbourne, but I don't really give a fuck because I'm not doing anything about it. If I really gave a fuck, I'd go over there and fight. I'm saying I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm projecting morally because I'm a fucking loser. But how I act, that is where you analyze who I truly am. And trust me, bro, when fuel prices go up, when food goes up, when people can't afford to pay their rent, that's when people actually act. And this is a direct result of the Strait of Hormuz closing. And thus, this price of Brent crude suggests this fuckery continues for the consumer.
Yeah. When do you see this ending? And how much time does countries in the GCC, specifically UAE, how much time do they have up their sleeves before this really starts hurting?
It's already starting to hurt. But again, the weasel word there being hurt. It's definitely negative when it comes to GDP right now. 100%. Okay. No one is saying otherwise. Even, people close to us have finally conceded that the winter in Dubai ended early, and, that busy April, May that they see before people go to Europe in the summer, it's not coming. It's not coming. Okay. Now, the UAE as a whole is not doing too bad because remember, Dubai is not Abu Dhabi. Dubai and Abu Dhabi are both part of the UAE. Now, while it may be true that Dubai is being forced to lean more on Abu Dhabi, and some people in Dubai are going to be a little bit, I think, annoyed by that, because what Abu Dhabi does is not always, in my opinion, in the best interest of a local business in Dubai. Because them acting hawkish like this, Abu Dhabi, although I believe long-term this is amazing for the UAE, short-term there are going to be some people in Dubai that are feeling this this firm stance that Abu Dhabi has on Iran could backfire on the UAE. They're concerned about future conflict, or I don't believe the people in Dubai are concerned about future conflict. They're concerned that the world thinks there may be future conflict, and thus it could affect their local business in Dubai, because Abu Dhabi behaving in a hawkish manner, literally tweeting about it, official journalists, about how they will not stand this Iranian regime. We will not tolerate it. This is not the epitome of safe and stable. This is wartime talk, bro. This is wartime talk. This is, oi, we're over here. This is us.
Mm.
This is the UAE. You understand? No, Iran, you don't push us around. No other Arab state pushes us around. We're leaving OPEC, respectfully. We don't need big bro no more. We certainly are not going to be beholden to Iran. And guess what? All of you talking about us being Zionists, we don't give a fuck what you think. We're bros with Israel because they helped us out more than you have. Italy and Israel have helped us out. And you little cucks over there in Western Europe who did fuck all for us, we'll remember. We'll remember you. We'll remember all those people that left the UAE and were talking shit about the UAE during this conflict. Like, Dubai's a mirage. Dubai's a mirage. It's done. Like the Professor Zhang. They won't forget these sort of people. And not only will they not forget these people, they will rub it in their face after they've succeeded, but in the most beautiful way, through numbers. Oh, what was that? Oh, the UAE was done. They're like, okay. So we've left OPEC. I'll let you do the math on when we can get this capacity out to the world, these extra barrels per day. I'll let you do the math. And then imagine that math reinvested into sovereign wealth funds in these big tech companies. Do the math there about how much they've gone up thanks to the old M2 supply increasing and the money printer in the USA. And then also remember our relations with Washington, who do fancy us very much right now. And I'll let you guys do the math and you tell me how done the UAE is.
You know, UAE is very harmonious, very collaborative, very welcoming, right? They are not known for being cunts, okay? They're known for being very nice people, not internally what we experience of living there and the Emirati people, but also that kind of transpires to the world as well, right? They're very open to do business and, and they were like that since the beginning. They had to actually be like that. They provided tax-free ports to bring people to their ports. This is, we're talking 50 years ago now. So that's how they started. Now, this opportunity also gives them, this situation gives them the opportunity to now be cunts if they wanted to say, hey, you weren't there. This is what's going to happen now.
I don't consider that them being cunts. I just think that they
stern, more stern.
That's a better word, yeah. Because a cunt would be someone acting unnecessarily to stroke their own ego. They are not like this at all. In fact, they do not take any tips from the playbook of those within the greater Western powers at all. Although they're close to Trump, they don't mimic Trump. They don't mimic Trump's behavior, the way that he speaks, the way that he does things. They understand that for now, they need to be close to Trump. But should incentives change, then loyalty changes, and they don't apologize for it. You see, what ideological people and moralizers have within them is that they think because what happens in their small clique of mates, it should also apply to countries and politics. Like, yeah, I'm fucking loyal. I back my brothers all day, no matter what my brothers do. You're a retard. We're talking about big boys here, not your little street gang cuss. We're talking about sovereigns. And when it comes to sovereigns, the UAE leadership, the Bin Zayeds, the Al Maktoums, they are masterful Machiavellians. And they do this, and they're able to do this in a number of ways. Number one, first and foremost, there isn't an ounce, not even a sprinkle of them acting in a way that is supportive of ideologies, namely Islam. They don't act Islamic at all. Now, Islamic and religious people will see that as an insult, but I actually see that as a compliment. Because if you were to follow the playbook of the Quran in modern day, you're going to fail. You can't do that. It doesn't work. Okay? Now, I've mentioned this before. Some very clever and crafty religious educator may wrap it up and make it sound like the UAE leadership are acting in accordance with the Quran, but they're not. And guess what? They never said that they are. Notice all of the tweets that come from official Emirati journalists. Notice the way that Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid talks, notice the way that they all talk. The only thing coming out of their mouth when it comes to religion in recent times is, you guys in the West need to understand that we understand this religion more than you, and you need to clamp down on radicalism. That's the only thing that they mention in recent times. Everything else, when it comes to religion, is between them and God. And they don't give a fuck what I think, what you think, or what the West thinks, or what all of these other, empathizers to this radical version of Islam think. They don't care. They don't care what the Muslim Brotherhood thinks. They don't care what the Iranian regime thinks. They don't give a fuck. You can call the Emiratis any names you like. They don't care. They're going to move the way they're going to move. And that's why I respect them.